My name's Annabelle Bradley and I'm the village blacksmith in Malham. I started in the smithy in Malham because we lived here and we'd seen this building all along and always thought it would be a fantastic place to work from. I'd never done blacksmithing before, I was a tax accountant before this, and it was just a fantastic opportunity when the building came up for lease. There's something for me to be able to take on and learn a new skill. So to begin with, for the first 6 months, I was still working part-time as a tax accountant and part-time in the smithy. So it was that kind of transitional period where I had the chance at that point to be able to step away from the smithy. After 6 months, I didn't have to continue with the lease. But it was a craft that once you start working on this, it's something that's very hard to get out of your system. It's a very addictive type of thing to do. I suppose with all crafts, they're very immersive, they take you away from everyday life type thing. But with blacksmithing, I suppose people see people swinging a big hammer and think it's venting out all your frustration, but it's not like that. It's more a state of mind and being very much in the present. You're focusing on the fire, the anvil, and working the hot steel, and everything else goes out of the window. You've got nothing else to concentrate on but that hot steel and forging away. So it is very therapeutic, I suppose. You're in that current state of mind. Obviously it's very physical, so if you've not forged something before, then just getting the control of the hammer is quite difficult. After a while you just take it for granted and it's an instinct as to how you strike the steel, and you automatically react to what's happening to the steel. When you first begin, you don't have that same instinct, so it's more a physical strain on you rather than it just automatically taking over and being able to forge and adapt to it. I suppose a lot of blacksmiths are hobby smiths. There's a lot of people doing it from, they have a forge set up in the garage or in the shed. So there are a lot of people taking up the craft in that respect. Yes, we have less industrial blacksmithing and it has taken on a different nature, but there are a lot more people open to the concept of blacksmithing and what actually goes into forging a piece of steel. Because quite often you get people will look at a piece of forge work and not necessarily be able to see what's gone into the process of making it. So we're so accustomed to having everything mass produced and made by machine that you kind of stop looking at the detail. So a lot of blacksmithing is looking at that smaller detail, getting people to focus on different elements of it. So such as in a round bar, putting a twist in there, or a bookend twist, a reverse twist. So it actually makes people stop and think, how has that actually been made? Because it isn't feasible to just twist something on a machine in such a way. So with blacksmithing, it's very good in focusing on the detail and getting people to reassess how they see something as being made. A lot of the commissions that I do tend to be my designs that are adapted to how somebody else wants it to fit in their home environment. I do some elements of designs that are somebody's specific concept. However, it does change to my style as you begin to forge. I don't like to just specifically do a repetition of somebody else's design. It has to have a lot of the personality of the person that's forging in it, as opposed to just copying somebody else's design. I always particularly enjoy forging ram's heads, so I have quite a few pieces with ram's heads on in there. They're obviously quite synonymous with the Dales, and it's iconic with that piece. So they're always quite enjoyable, and getting different character within those. To actually start a day with just a blank piece of steel, to work hard all day forging heavy on it, and to actually have something tangible at the end of the day, as opposed to sat at a desk typing on a keyboard and the numbers just disappear off into the ether at the end of the day. Instead, having that tangible piece and then the satisfaction of somebody else buying it at the end and liking the work. It's a very enjoyable way to work. There is a revival on blacksmithing, a revival on all crafts in the UK. There's certainly more blacksmiths now than what there were 30, 40 years ago. Lots of people interested, certainly on blacksmithing, to come in and have a go. So people can come here and have a go for one day at blacksmithing and just understand what actually goes into it. And I suppose a lot of people are doing that as a bit of escapism somewhere. However, once they come in and start forging, it's quite an addictive type of thing to do.